We've got two gentlemen joining us from our studios in Abuja. Honorable Hejua Agbonaima joins us. He is a member of the APC. By the way, he's also vying for the governorship seat in Edo State. Maybe he'll tell us about that as we progress. But right beside him, Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf, who is the former chairman, House Committee on Capital Markets, a member of the PDP. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today on the program. Let me start with you, Honorable TJ, because
thank you.
Many
Good
were
morning
looking.
to everybody out there.
All right, many were looking to the National Assembly to provide that framework. They started out something, but many then wonder, are they starting something they can finish? Because they didn't conclude with the bill in terms of National Assembly before we then heard about the infectious diseases bill. Doesn't this suggest that we're not getting the kind of response and direction from the National Assembly as people expect?
I don't want to agree to that. Lawmaking takes process. The essence of the process is to deliberately allow people ventilate different opinions. Yes, we're in an emergency situation, but if we do not deliberately allow opinions that are contrary to yours to be heard so that you have an input and come out with a legal framework that would last, that will pass the test of time. However, despite that, the president came out with certain stimulus packages in line with the proposed bill already. There's this 50% tax rebate that should help companies and businesses to defer or not to pay 50% of their tax in this particular year and within this period, so as to help them put back such resources to revitalize their business. There's the defer on mortgage. Maybe you have a mortgage responsibility to pay to Fair Mortgage Bank for this month. It has been deferred for 6 months. So, yes, there's need to have a legal framework. However, those who crafted our constitution give certain latitude to the executive to take certain initiative, which I believe is being taken. And the CBN is packaging a lot of stimulus. I have a conviction that if these are genuinely and deliberately had followed up, it will help in some ways. Yes, we have a major inhibitants to getting this thing done effectively. Lack of data, like the CBN stimulus. Do have data of businesses that are affected mostly? That is the unregistered, the artisans, the painters, artisans, those who earn their living on daily engagement, the taxi drivers and what have you. Unfortunately, we don't have that data. And that is why a lot of this is not captured in our GDP.
Okay, let me quickly bring in Honorable EJ, because we need to go to break soon, but we'll be back. Honorable EJ, so give us your impression. How is that turning out?
Well, let me say that I want to appreciate my brother, what he said, that the stimulus package being proposed by the central bank, by the governor of central bank, is a welcome development. And if all these are put in place, like you rightly said, that 50% of those various companies that are supposed to pay taxes, at least there should be kind of a rebate. That is another way to help, the local businessmen and women. But I want to appeal to the government to do more than that, because we have a lot of Nigerians who are doing businesses today, just like any other part of the world. I live in America for many years, but if you even see what is happening in other part of the world, how they're able to give, concerns and helping those various companies, using the banks to assist them, because, this problem we are facing was not created by the government of Nigeria. It wasn't created by Mr. President Buhari.
Honorable EJ,
or my colleagues here.
No, pardon me, but we'll come back to this. But we'll come back to this in just a moment and examine what governments at all levels are doing and what could they do differently. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. So just before we'll go ahead now, can you tweet at us and tell us, do you know who this person is? Well, if you get the answer, Kaide and Ayo say they've got something for you. So just go online, tweet at Sunrise Daily Now or any one of us. So we'll talk about that.
Who's that sponsor? Oh, he's seated right here.
So they have something for you. So just start tweeting now. They've got something coming. But let's get back to the gentleman in Abuja. Well, Honorable EJ, you were talking about some measures, but could you just add to that? Because, you know, there's so many who think they haven't seen the kind of direction that they would have loved to see. In fact, some of the previous guests called the government 5. That's a C, a gentleman's grade, in terms of how they're providing leadership and handling this COVID-19 at the moment. Do you agree with them?
Well, let me say here, I'm not here to castigate or to blame anyone for how we got here. What is important is for all of us collectively how to provide the best solution, how to combat this menace. It was not created by the government, or neither you, China, or myself, or anyone. This was created by, I would say, you know, China, you know, who, you know, conspiracy theory never came out clearly to tell the world what really happened. So, and nobody is pointing finger at them, but rather, I want to say, please, I want to appeal to Nigerians. Let us not have a blame game. The government is doing everything humanly possible to do the right thing, but I also want to thank those who have contributed immensely. A lot of businessmen and women have contributed to cushion, to support, to help, you know, the downtrodden Nigerian people. But if you have not done that, try to do that. But most of the people complaining, really, what have they done lately to help, you know, the government and to help themselves, to help the people around them? However, I would say that, Mr. President, you know, I'm not speaking for the government, because I am speaking as a citizen of this great country, as a patriotic Nigerian. You know, that all of us, we always love, you know, having blame games. Even before Mr. President started to have, kind of being able to bring some, ways and means to help the people. People have already started castigating. They have already started. But what is important is that I want every state in this country, every governor, to play their part in their various states. Yes, we have no local government anymore because it has been adjusted by the governors of various, country, in the nation. But I want, if the presidency and the federal government are doing their part, the state governors, the state government should also have a role to play. Everybody have a role to play. All right,
let me bring in Honorable CJ on this matter so that we can let it go back and forth. So, Honorable CJ, having listened to that, does that sit with you?
No. The governor has a responsibility. I agree that the CBN small palliative is good. However, the palliative that is being provided does not get to the people. The figures being chunked out without sounding too harsh, I would say like the school feeding, so-called expansion school feeding, is a fraud. I am aware that data are being collated in schools to justify the spending. I am aware in FCT, I have record of schools who have not benefited from full school feeding, and they're taking names of their pupils to be inputted.
Can you prove to our viewers?
I say I am aware. I say I have. I'm not speaking. I have the details.
Not just these are the problems we are facing in this country.
I have the details of the fact that
social media. I say fake news. Can you tell Nigerians? Not just I'm aware. Let us see what you have, the data that you have.
I know that schools in FCT in the last 3 weeks.
Can you tell us the name of the school? Tell us the name of the school.
Just hang on. Let him make his point. Honorable Bagwana, just hold on. Let him make his point, please. TJ, please go on.
Collated. I live in Abuja for the past 20 years. I have access to information about this city, and I'm aware of that. 2, you have 13 billion to spend on school feeding. Let me speak for my constituency.
But, okay, go ahead.
When it was done briefly, the quality of food that get to that school, you cry. You now start from the 14th of May now. You have 13 billion that if 12.5 kg of rice, a 12.5 kg of beans, something of oil. I took my time to read.
Okay, so when you say you...
Lagos, Ogun.
If I could ask you this, when you say you are aware of those names being collated, is that the same thing as you do have that detail or those data authentically?
Thank you. Yes, I have the fact that teachers were called back to school 3 weeks ago to bring their register. And those names were collated. And that is what, let me tell you something. About 2 weeks ago, they claimed that they will subject the list to EFCC probe to justify that the records are genuine. Those were the data has been collated. Because there was outcry from parents and what have you. And what we are saying is, for this period of COVID-19, do, like he said, other responsible government do what they're doing in other parts of the world. Get this thing direct to the people. Let even, if it's even symbolic, let every household, or we live in the community, we live in one face you community setting in Nigeria. Let a building get like 50 kg of rice.
Just a minute, you'll talk more on that, hopefully, but Honorable EJ, haven't heard that. If it turns out that he's got those details authentically, what do we do from there?
Let me just tell you, my dear brother, Nigerians, we are always good at, making up a statement or issue or making rumors. If you have to buttress your point, with all due respect, my brother, Honorable TJ is my very good friend, but I differ from him in this aspect because the truth of the matter is that you have information. I've just asked him, can you give out full details, the name of the school? Not just saying, and because when you go on social media today, the blackmail, the fake news, and we are not doing this to help this nation. Are you saying we are doing it to hurt this nation?
Can I ask you a question? Are you saying that the palliative have got to the people?
Let me tell you something.
Your constituency, are people getting...
hold on. I just made a statement just now. You said the governors have, they don't have to.
The governors?
Listen.
The governors have to.
Yeah, you did. Yes, let me tell you. We have federal government, and we have state government, and we have local government. If the federal government are doing their part, and the state government are doing their part, we don't have problem. But we don't leave the burden of the whole country on the federal government.
Honorable EJ, let me just say here, well, first of all, he asked you a question. Did the palliatives get to your constituency?
There is nowhere in the world where federation unit gather every month to share money. Tell me one federation in the world where it is done. So because you have a novel approach in Nigeria, you have this kind of skilled approach.
But even as they share money, the money that...
Honorable Tajudeen Yusuf, just hang on. I like Honorable EJ Agbonaima to respond to your question. You did ask him, did the palliatives get to Honorable Agbonaima's constituency?
Constituency?
Well, I must tell you the truth. I cannot sit down here authoritatively and say that everybody got it. Like he said a while ago that we don't have data. We don't have no data system here to ascertain. Even though those voters, card that belongs to each individual, each Nigerian, will be able to use it to help, to coaching. And I also want to say this, without fear or favor, there's a need for us to involve or include the traditional institution, the traditional rulers, because I would have said the local government. The local government have been hijacked by the state governors. If Mr. President Buhari have hijacked the state governors or state fund, we will not get to where we are.
Right. It's important. Yes, you mentioned traditional rulers. I mean, we've talked about getting the community involved. But just to be clear, yes, you might not have data, but do you know anyone or group of people that have gotten the palliatives in your constituency?
Of course. Yes, of course. There are a lot of people that have gotten. Not everybody have gotten. Some number of people have gotten. But what I'm saying is this. Listen, every problem in this country is created by even we Nigerians because we have always refused to remember yesterday. If you don't know where you are coming from, you will never know where you are going. The money that was meant for us to solve the problem of this nation, somebody stole it yesterday. Somebody took it yesterday. And nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about billions and billions of dollars that went to global destination to the detriment of all Nigerians. But we're not talking about, oh, how did we get here? Oh, President Buhari have not done this. Yeah. Because the blame game goes to him. What about the state governors? Hold on. What about the state governors across the 36 states, including FCT? What have they done lately to coaching, to help the downtrodden in their various states? Rather than just put the figure on Mr. President Buhari.
You are just doing exactly what you said we Nigeria should not be doing. You say, why are we not blaming the previous administration? Okay, why are we not blaming them? Is that no government has borrowed like this government in the history of Nigeria. In the
Let me tell you, borrow,
hold on.
Because the money is stolen. Your government, PDP stole all their resources in Nigeria.
PDP until just how many months
when I was in PDP, I've always said it.
So don't go there.
I said it.
So
Nigeria have heard it from me.
We have borrowed.
I've been saying it.
Time, one at a time, please. Honorable Agbonama, just hold on. Honorable TJ, please make your point. Then we'll go back and forth. That way the viewers can follow your points, please.
Yes. Now I'm trying to say that he's exactly doing the same thing he said Nigerians are doing, that we shouldn't be doing. He said we should blame.
No,
the previous government. Hold on.
We will be having a blame game.
Hello.
Tema, just hang on. You'll get your time. Hang on.
The responsibility of leadership is that you have come to solve a problem. If there is no problem, if there is nothing wrong with previous administration, you will not seek to become president. And when you go to power and you begin to deteriorate the economy more than it should be, I am privileged to chair the House Committee on Capital Market. Within 18 months, we lost 7 trillion for bad leadership because we refuse to appoint ministers. We go around the world as a nation to demarket our economy. How can a president be going around that my people are thieves? And you want me to come and invest in your country that way? No. So that's not good there. Okay. What we are facing now is that...
Honorable Yusuf, just one moment.
All Nigerians are thieves.
Just one moment, Honorable Yusuf. One of the issues that Honorable Agbonayema just raised is the fact that we seem to over-centralize everything. Yes, there is a government at the center, the federal government, but then there are the subnationals as well, the state governors. In all of our responses so far, both at the legislative and executively and all of that, how impactful do you think these governors themselves have been in ensuring that their citizens, their constituents are well taken care of, among other things?
Thank you. I agree to the message that some governors have not done enough, but they are examples of those who have done well. And unfortunately, because we do politics with a lot of things, how many days ago now there's a policy, new policy of government that says that state governors have to subscribe to Nigerian police decision on what comes to your state or what does not come to your state. It brings me to the Almejiri's movement and what have you. Governors in several states have stopped trucks that are supposed to be carrying food, but they find that they are carrying human beings. Now, the federal government feel that might impugn on certain movement. The police are now setting up structures in the state parallel to the state governors. By implication, we have a very strong center that has not yielded much to the state. So in as much I agree that some states have not done enough, but the bulk of responsibility to provide leadership is in the federal government. And I still insist
let me take this back to Honorable Agbonayema now. How do you respond to this in the light of the fact that some of the governors say that they have sufficient data to take care of their constituents?
Well, these are the things, the issue I've been talking about over the years. You know, I will go back again when I say that I live outside this country for many years. In America, precisely, for over 31 years. Things are done differently, and we are practicing democracy, the same democracy they are practicing in America, another part of the world. But here in Nigeria, it is different. I'm sorry. Now, go back to the issue of, you know, federal government, state government, and local government. In this country, at a time, former head of state and former president of this country, under PDP, refused to pay, you know, what belongs to Lagos State when the Senator Bola Tinubu was governor. He was deprived. Even Lagos State still survived because he was focused, you know, putting the state forward. Most governors in this country, they are just there. As federal allocation comes in, that's when they travel. How do they get here? They did not plan for tomorrow. So the resources that are supposed to be used to develop each state in this country went to voicemail. And what are we not doing? Some of them now connive, always try to blame the center, blaming the federal so that people can take, that is the problem out of them, that no, the states, they are okay, fine. Let's put everything on top of the federal government, that is the president, that the president is to be blamed. No. If each state is doing their part, I'm not saying some states are doing very well, but there are some states that they have nothing to offer.
Well, I hope you
they
can hear me,
they
TJ.
make noise. These are social media governors because they have not done anything for their people. What they are doing now is to use media, social media, to put pressure on Nigerians that federal government are the major problem. No. It is our own problem. It is state problem. It is federal government problem. It is local government problem. Even though local government have been hijacked by the government.
Okay, we're going to wind down soon. So, Honorable Yusuf, could you respond to that? Because he went way back to when, of course, you know the point. But could you quickly respond to that before we wind down?
I didn't get you.
Well, could you respond to some of the points that he has made about, yes, you say the center hasn't yielded much, but it's not just about center yielding much. He's talking about the profligacy that you do have within the states as well.
I will not stand here to defend the fact that those things are facts about states not be taking responsibility in certain areas. But what I'm saying is that in the federal system that we operate, leadership is on the center. Who determined when the airport is closed? Who determined when we should lock down? It was the federal. The Quarantine Act give some power to the state, but more to the enormous power to the center. We delayed in our response. We should take that responsibility as federal too. In other parts of the world, the federal provide leadership. So, at a point, we had attempted to do that. I will agree that there was that
effort. Is President Buhari not providing leadership?
We are all aware of the pressure that comes from Nigerians before the first statement was made. At the time that, in February, there was cry for Nigerians profile the way we should go, appeal to us to close border. We waited till end of March. I am not in any way saying
no matter
that
what he does,
Hello, I am not saying in any way that COVID-19 is a common disease that we're used to. But what I'm saying is that leadership is you providing moment of leadership at the point of challenge and issues. And one moment of slack, one moment of delay can have a ripple effect. So I am saying that we should not abdicate the responsibility of federal government, nor that should we abdicate the responsibility of the state governors. I agree to that fact. But however, the more of the responsibility lie with federal. The federal has the humongous access to resources, more than we can ever imagine. I'm still sitting here telling you that, tell me one federation unit all over the world, federal system, where you have our novel kind of federation. Canada is a federation. Canada has oil. Canada has multi-ethnic, multi-religion, multi-language, but they have a federal system that gives the state some measure of autonomy. They have oil. The federal does not give oil licenses. It is the state that gives. The federal tax that state more. That's what we're operating in the 50s and early 60s.
Here's what we'll do. All right, we'll give both of you, we'll let you get in your closing thoughts when we come back in the moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. All right, gentlemen, please go ahead in 30 seconds or less and give us your concluding thoughts. Honorable Agbonaima, let me start with you.
Well, thank you, our viewers. I want to say that Nigeria belongs to all of us. For us to get to the next level, it's going to require a collective effort of every Nigerians. Whether APC, whether you are PDP, Abga, Labour, look, we are all Nigerians, and let's do the right thing by praying for our country, our dear nation, pray for our leaders so that we can definitely get to the next level where Nigeria becomes to be among the leading nations. As you know, the ban on the campaign have not been lifted. I'm in the race for the governorship of Edo State, and I'm here to let the world know that today, Edo State will get to the promised land. Whatever is happening, God knows the best that Edo State have come to stay. And I believe and I pray that my brother, my very good friend, TJ, will support and do whatever I can.
Let's hear him talk then. Okay, Honorable TJ.
I agree that all of us must come together to work together. But there is responsibility on whoever is on the helms of affairs right now. The corpse is on his table. So I call on the federal government, especially on the palliatives, to do more than it's doing right now. We have 774 local governments. Can we know what goes to each local government? Can we have a committee that involves traditional rural, like he said, and bring community leaders and will say, so and so go to this community. So we have empirical fact to come to check the fact that being doled out. The amount of money that is being mentioned is humongous. The 20,000 that is claimed to be transferred to less privileged and what have you, don't give it to me. But can I be involved to know those who get in my constituency? So I can stand here and defend this.
All right, gentlemen. We'll anchor at that point. We do thank you, Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf, former Chairman House Committee on Capital Market, and Honorable Ehiozowa Agbonaima, former member of the House of Reps, and as you know, he's trying to do something in Edo State. Gentlemen, thank you both for coming on today.